I think one of the reasons why many of us remember Halo Reach so well is because Bungie managed to tell a really cohesive, really intensive, really interesting, and a very engaging narrative that is relatively simple and focused on a small team of Spartans rather than on the regular titular character of the series, Master Chief. One of Halo Reach's biggest achievements is that they let you customize your character however you want, and they're gonna show up in the cinematic. Now that might sound extremely simple and extremely silly to some, but I think it's incredibly effective to see your customized character on the screen, and it's really cool to see them taking a really important role in the narrative as well. This is a tool that is used by many RPGs, and I think it's extremely useful to make the players feel engaged with the story. In video games, we're actively participating in the story, fighting battles and winning them, sometimes losing them, but we're there all the time. I think specifically the original Master Chief trilogy had this idea cemented that we were going to win no matter what, not only the battles but also the war. Master Chief's capabilities were never in question, but here in Reach we're playing as a Spartan we don't really know, as a team we don't really know, but what we do know is that Reach falls at the very end of the story. We're gonna lose no matter what, it's a losing battle. One of the things that I praise about Halo Reach is that for the first half they continue with this trend that the other Halo games had, that was allowing the player to win battles and to feel powerful and capable. But by the second half of the game, right after George's death, we really see that we're not making as big as an impact as we thought. By the later missions, we found that the war on Reach is basically lost, and the Spartans are doing what they can to just mitigate the damage. Reach starts off incredibly hopeful but ends up incredibly sad. We see each and every one of our team members die one by one, except for June obviously, but his absence is noticeable I think, and it's just something we had never seen in a Halo game before. We're always led to believe that Spartans are this kind of almost mythical creature that is unstoppable, but I think Halo Reach just put this idea on the table that no, Master Chief is probably unstoppable, but not every Spartan is. And I think that is incredibly cool because Halo Reach allows us to see this kind of more human side of the Spartan soldiers. And you know what's interesting to me? That we do not really know much about Noble Team. We know bits of information here and there, and of course their dialogue and story during the Halo Reach campaign, but other than that and their specialty in combat and the way they look, by that I mean their armor, we really don't know about Noble Team a lot. And regardless, they're one of the most beloved and recognized characters in all of the Halo games and lore and everything. Personally for me, seeing Spartan Cat for the first time was incredible. She was the first female Spartan I have ever seen in a Halo game, and like I said, that was a huge deal for me. Plus I really like her armor and attitude, and what I love about the Halo community is that if you ask someone who their favorite Noble Team character is, you're gonna get a different answer every time, or at least I have. A lot of people like Emil simply because of the way he looks, you know, he's a close quarter specialist and he also specializes in knives, and of course the now iconic skull carved on his EVA helmet. A lot of people like George because he carries around a turret, he's kind, he has a heart of gold despite his like big and bulky and rude appearance. He's just such a really nice guy, and also of course his armor is huge, it's just bulky and big and unique in just so many ways. The mismatched painting on the armor as well, so on and so forth. I think the game does an incredible job when it comes to properly representing their personalities on the screen. And of course we can't talk about Halo Reach without covering multiplayer. To me personally, Halo Reach is like the top Halo experience of all time. I know that I am not alone when it comes to that. I know a lot of people hate the armor lock ability, but other than that I think Halo Reach has a really solid and balanced multiplayer, and even on the MCC you can still play Halo Reach and there's plenty of people playing it. And I think after so many years we have never gotten like a similar experience to Halo Reach, and personally I don't think we will. I think 343 tried with the different squads in Halo 5 as well as introducing other minor characters in the story, but to me it's just not the same, you know. And I'm not trying to be hateful towards 343, it's just an opinion. So yeah, I think if you take into account the great multiplayer multiplayer, the incredible story that is relatively simple, a fight between good and evil and essentially a losing battle. And it's also a story that, if you think about it, they don't really flesh out the Covenant a lot. They're just this one-dimensional antagonist in the story. I also think Halo Reach mastered the art of making a game feel good. Even now, to me, the game does not feel super outdated. It still feels fresh. The music is incredible, as it normally is with older Halo games made by Bungie, and also the environment was handled incredibly well. You get a different set piece in almost every mission, and you can see how the planet visibly changes with the passing of time and also the glassing of the planet. And I think the deaths of each noble member was handled really well. And just circling back to what I was saying at the beginning, I think it's incredibly cool to just see your customized character on the screen, you controlling them. For example, I just love the way my Spartan looks. After so many years, I finally got MCC and finally got enough Spartan points to customize my character however I want. It's just like basically my dream Spartan, and while playing, you essentially feel that you're playing as yourself, and that's incredibly cool. Well, at least to me, that's a very special detail. And also, you gotta count in nostalgia. This is a very nostalgic game for so many people. Like I said, it was like the top Halo experience for many people, and I think this was released during like the golden era of Xbox gaming. Reach was released at the perfect time, and I think it did most of its things correctly, and that's why more than 10 years later it's such a cool and remembered game.